will never figure it out. And when I do stuff like that, and I tell myself stuff like that, I start to come back down to earth, and I start to, put things in perspective. But frankly, there is no perspective here. There is just an insane and inane agenda to try. Look, there are this transgender dysphoria or gender identity disorder. We know as a bunch of bunk because they've done studies, and they have found that the rate of suicides to pre-gender reassignment versus post-gender reassignment is much, much greater. Suicide is much greater post-gender reassignment than it is pre-gender reassignment. So in other words, this whole notion that these people think that they're in the wrong, sexual body, or their body's the wrong sex, they're wrong. And when they make these changes, it screws up their head so bad that they can't go back to what they were, so they end up killing themselves. These are the studies that they've done. And to some people on the left, it's a shock because they thought, well, everybody, if they really believe that they're a woman trapped in a man's body, and they do the surgeries and hormones and stuff, and they transfer into a woman, that they'd be happy. But they're not happier, generally speaking. And they commit suicide at a much higher rate than those people who think that they're a woman trapped in a man's body, but don't do anything about it. So now you're subjecting teenage boys and girls to this, frankly, bullshit about gender dysphoria, instead of actually getting them the help that they really need. You're going to foster their early demise. I'm sorry, that's just those are the statistics. And if you're going to look at statistics logically, you're going to have to say this is going to foster their early demise. Because nobody really, the whole notion that Mother Nature screws up your sex is very rare. It's very rare indeed. It is nowhere near the number of people that claim that they're a woman trapped in a man's body or a man trapped in a woman's body. Nowhere near that. And it's this thing that we do to one another in this. Well, liberals have really screwed people's heads up, because now people just don't know who they are anymore. You're not allowed to be a man. What does it mean to be a man? Well, you're not allowed to be a man, because if you're a man, you're a sexist, according to a liberal. So it screws people up. I mean, you can look. I don't know how many times I've gotten it wrong about some men. I mean, they're very effeminate, but they're very straight. But they're very effeminate, and I'm thinking, well, how the hell are they so effeminate and straight, man? He's got to like boys. But no, they like girls. And the funny thing is that a lot of girls like them that way. Now, I would think that a woman would want a man. But then again, a lot of these girls today don't know what a real man is. So when they see one or think that they see one, that's why that's why you have so many of these Hollywood stars who are just buff, men. They act like men on the screen. That's why women are so attracted to them. Even people like Tom Cruise, which I don't honestly think I don't know. Women think that he's hot and sexy, I guess, but I don't particularly see it. But on the screen, he acts like a man. That's what women are really attracted to. They're not really attracted. Do you see any big Hollywood stars that are men that are effeminate? I don't see any. I mean, these are, they're all men. And the effeminate ones, maybe they'll do a romantic comedy here or there, and then you don't see them again. They don't get to stay around very long. They're not Brad Pitt. They're not Tom Cruise. They're not, what's his name? The new one, Chris Helmsworth, Thor. and the other new one from Jurassic World, that Chris, whatever his name is, who used to be fat, but now he's a man, but he's a buff man. I mean, and Channing Tatum, he does the Magic Mike thing. I haven't seen it, don't know it, but hey, find him sexy. Marky Mark. Well, now he's Mark Wahlberg. Women find him sexy because he acts like a dork sometimes in some of his comedy movies, but he's also he's a sniper. He's a man. These are the types of Hollywood leading men that women want to keep around on their TV and movie screens for years and years and years. How long has Brad Pitt been around? I mean, Pierce Brosnan, James Bond. I mean, who's the blonde Bond there? I mean, look how all of a sudden, he became Bond, and he's like, oh, he's one of the biggest actors that there is. He's been around a while, but now all of a sudden he's huge because he's a man's man. That's what women like. So I don't understand this whole notion of and we're talking the Hollywood left. The Hollywood left is foistering this, this role and this ideal of what a man, Vin Diesel. I don't necessarily think Vin Diesel is all that good looking for a guy, but women think he's, a hunk. They love him because he's a man's man. He's not effeminate. Hey, now I don't know if I don't know if Tom Cruise is really gay or not, but the whole point is that when he's on the screen and he's in front of the public, he's not acting like a fairy. I'm just putting it out there. I'm. You make up your own. I'm not here to tell you what you should think and what you should believe. I'm just bringing you this stuff and you make up your own mind. But my mind says that this is wrong to do this to children. Allowing them to do this is wrong. And that if we even look at today's society that is so screwed up and is so, we're so pro-gay, that the people that men and women look up to still know their roles, their gender roles. Guys like women. They look, even gay guys, they like the woman who acts like a woman. Sure, they'll watch a woman who can kick a guy's butt every once in a while. But they really want them to be effeminate. They want them to be a woman. I don't see any. You see some of these lesbian stars. I don't see them doing a lot of movies. Well, you got Ellen, but Raven Simone. What the hell is Raven doing? But walking around with her head, with her nose stuck up in the air like she's better than everybody else because she came out as a lesbo. Big freaking hairy deal. She has no career. Nobody wants to watch her. Nobody's attracted to her. Well, maybe other lesbians are. I don't know. But But look, we even in this screwed up, this culture that has screwed up people, we still have the basics and the basis for the roles of gender. And it doesn't mean that women can't do certain jobs and men can't do certain jobs, and that's not what I'm talking about. That we have certain beliefs that we're attracted to, certain qualities we're attracted to. Women are attracted to real men. Men are attracted to real women. Plain and simple. We don't, the opposite sex doesn't go for all the fake, phony, non-traditional gender role. You're not going to find a bunch of effeminate men suddenly becoming, big stars. It's, if that were the case, then Adam Lambert would be one of the biggest stars that we got going, but he's not. Just saying. I don't know. Is he effeminate? I haven't seen him really since Idol. Also with going along with the Oregon Medicaid thing, which is part of Obamacare. Look, folks, I told you this. This is from the Politico. The Senate downplays Obamacare repeal. No deadline, says Senator John Barrasso, a House and as House conservatives cry filed. Now, July was supposed to be the big month for Obamacare repeal in Congress, but Senate Republicans are downplaying expectations that they'll use a powerful budget tool called reconciliation to undo Obamacare through a simple majority vote this summer, and conservatives are not too pleased. Now, this is how we got Obamacare in the first place, reconciliation. So a simple majority vote gave it to us, but they don't want to use the same thing to get rid of it. I mean, what? I told you that they were not really for abandoning and getting rid of Obamacare. Listen to them talk about it. You know, we need to repeal and replace. No, we don't need to replace. That's all I hear from them. We need to repeal and replace. We just can't, take it away. Yeah, we can just take it away. We shouldn't have it in the first place. That's the whole point. Now, Republicans pledged earlier this year that they would use the budget's reconciliation tool to knock out parts of Obamacare that was to start this month to get rid of some unpopular Obamacare taxes or mandates, even if they can't scrap the whole law. But they haven't even moved on that. And this is what has so many people frustrated. But I told you not to be frustrated because I told you this was going to happen because I told you the Republican Rhino leadership wants Obamacare. They just wanted their version of it. And they're still trying to figure out a way to get their version of it. And they're trying to hold on to it until they hopefully get a Republican president in there in 2016. So then they can introduce their version of Obamacare. So then we can get rid of Obamacare and replace it with Republican care. Folks, don't doubt me. I told you this is how it was going to go down. I told you this was, and now here it is. I said they're not going to move to really, because they could have already done it if they wanted to. And all they're doing is doing flabberjabbing. Jab to jab, just telling you what you want to hear. But they weren't going to do anything. Now, supposedly, there are persistent divisions among Republicans, along with the re-election concerns of some GOP senators in liberal or swing states, are again slowing things down. Look, even liberals don't particularly like to have. They looked at the polls. Even liberals, for the most part, do not like Obamacare. I mean, this thing is one of the most unpopular things that this country has ever seen. I don't know. I only think that, prohibition was probably the only thing that was more unpopular than Obamacare. I'm not being funny or facetious here. I'm being serious as a heart attack. I think the only thing that has been more unpopular in this country, as far as a national thing is concerned, was prohibition. I don't think, there's nothing else out there. But look, you got, hell, I don't know. How many other states can do what Oregon just did? By the way, that's my question. How many other states are gonna pay for this kind of stuff that wouldn't have happened or wouldn't be paid for by insurance or the government if there was no Obamacare? I mean, you got to ask yourself that kind of stuff, because this is reality, folks. This is reality, and I don't like it any more than you do. Trust me, I don't. Well, that sound means that we are out of time for tonight. We'll be back here tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you for joining in and showing up and listening. I'm Rod Eccles. This has been the Rod Eccles Show. I'm out.